Hello from Neil and me, welcome to the programme.
First tonight, the villagers who say the government's overruled local opinion by giving the go-ahead for the dumping of low-level radioactive waste at a site near Peterborough.
Plans to store soil and rubble from old nuclear power stations at Cliffe had been rejected by Northamptonshire County Council last year after opposition in 12 nearby villages. But today that decision was overturned by Communities and Local Government Secretary Eric Pickles. Stuart Leith has more.
It's a quiet village, but Cliffe residents have been rocked today by the Communities and Local Government Secretary Eric Pickles' decision to allow low-level nuclear waste to be buried at this landfill site just a few miles away, in the form of rubble from buildings at decommissioned nuclear power stations.
We really don't know where we can go from here. We have exhausted all peaceful and legal methods of registering our objection to this proposal. We will consult whether we can take it any further, but we feel completely trampled, disregarded and ignored.
In a statement, the government has said that this is an existing landfill site which handles hazardous waste, and that having considered all the evidence and representations, the Minister has accepted expert planning advice that granting a temporary planning permission for additional waste would not be harmful to the local community.
The proposals have been considered by the Environment Agency, they've been considered in great detail at a planning inquiry and subsequently by the Secretary of State, and they have determined and are satisfied that the proposals are safe.
12 villages in Northamptonshire have been involved in the fight against Augean's plans. It began 2 years ago with a protest meeting. 3 months later, the campaign was launched. In March 2010, the plans were unanimously rejected by Northamptonshire County Council. Within 2 days, Augean appealed against that decision. In October last year came another protest, and in a referendum in April, 98% voted against the plans.
It's something that I and with local campaigners have been fighting since before I was elected to Parliament. It's unbelievably disappointing, and it is frankly an insult for the Environmental Protection Agency to say in its ruling today local people were consulted. They were consulted and they said no.
The concerns of local residents are so heightened that one passing motorist told me she suspected the rubble had already started to arrive as of today. But the site operators say it could be months before they begin processing the waste. Stuart Leith's Anglia News, Cliffe.
Well, our political correspondent Emma Hutchinson joins us live from Westminster now. Emma, why has the government given this the go-ahead when clearly there was so much local opposition?
Well, Eric Pickles has set out the reasons behind his decision in a letter today, and in that he's addressed two of the key concerns that campaigners against these proposals have had: the environment and the possible danger to human health. On the environment, he says he's satisfied that there will be strict pollution control measures in place, and on health he says, well, mainstream scientific evidence suggests that there is negligible risk to human health. He says that's far removed from the perception that people have, so essentially he's saying people who live in the surrounding area have nothing to fear. I think there is a problem that local people feel that they've not been listened to. They feel that this is an issue that's been decided on a national level, that if there's going to be nuclear power in our energy mix in the future, well then the nuclear waste, the radioactive waste needs to go somewhere, and that their views have been ignored.
And Emma, what happens now? Could this decision be reversed?
Well, the only option now is the courts. If campaigners want to try and reverse this decision, then they need to make an application to the High Court within the next 6 weeks. I spoke to Louise Bagshawe, the Corby MP we heard from in Stuart's report there earlier today, and she said that she will try and still put pressure on the local government and community secretary Eric Pickles through the media to try and reverse this decision. But I think it's unlikely that Eric Pickles will change his mind because of anything he hears now from campaigners or from the local MP.
Thank you, Emma.